Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. I'm here today to finally give you the tutorial for my iced coffee book. This was the Paper Collection Coffee Shop by Cartabella. So fun. This might be a long tutorial. It's really easy to make. It's just, you know, there's a little bit of details. So you want a full walkthrough, I will link that video. I'm only going to show you the book today and probably the sleeve on Wednesday because it's a box. And I don't want the video to be too long. Okay. So let's go ahead and print out your cutting guide that is in the description box. I usually just cut it, like copy it from the description box and paste it on a Word document and then print it out. That's how I do mine. But just getting my paper. So I used 8.5 by 11 paper to do the first one, and I already started making the second one, and then I realized my camera wasn't on, so I was using that paper, but now I need to find more paper to make this one. Okay, I'm going to use this craft paper. Hopefully I have enough. Alright, so my base pages, you're going to need two that are 8.5 by 11. And you want to make sure your paper is true to size because sometimes these are 1/8 of an inch off. And sometimes that can cause frustration. So I'm going to make sure mine's exactly 8.5 by 11, which it's not. See, it's 1/8 of an inch bigger. Just make sure 8.5. Okay. All right, so 8.5 by 11, and on the long side scored at 5.5. So this is just, I think I moved my mouse. This is just scoring it right in the middle on the long side. See, if I would have kept that 1/8 of an inch on there, it would have not been even when I went to score it. 5.5. Okay, so those are our two base pages. Yep, there really are only two. I was like, wait, this was way too much to only have two pages, but yeah, there's only two pages, two base pages. All right, two base pages. So all I'm gonna do is take them and fold them in half, and I am gonna go ahead and prep mine with tape. Okay, so for me, because I'm gonna do pocket pages, I want to make sure the opening is to the left, the folded is on the right. Okay, so I'm going to write on a pencil top, and I'm gonna write open. And I'm flip it over and I'm going to write top just so I know what's the top, because I like to put things on upside down. Especially when I'm doing the pages before they're on their binding. And then on the inside, I'm just going to take 1/4 inch tape and put it on the bottom left. This just reminds me of which way my papers need to go and how they're going to go on my hinge system. You are going to decide, you don't have to do it right now, if you want your pages to be pockets, which they'll open on the top, or if you don't want to, you just seal both of them shut. Both top and bottom. Okay, so we're going to put these over here to the side. And page 1, we need one piece that is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Scored on the short side 1/2 inch. Use your scraps. So as you can see in this bag, I have a ton of scraps, and so I'm going to use my scraps. And I kind of work ahead a little bit in my own brain, but I won't do that to you guys. Alright, so 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. On the short side, 1/2 inch. Okay. One piece that's 5 by 6. So 5 by 6. Scored on the short side, 1/2 inch. And 4 1/4. Excuse me, 4 1/2. Okay. And on the long side at 3 1/4. So this is just making our pocket. Okay, so I'm going to put that to the side. And then we need one more piece that is 5 3/4 by 7 1/4. Let's see if I got a piece big enough, which I don't. So 5 3/4 by 7 1/4. Right? 5 3/4 by 7 1/4. Scored on the short side at 1/2 inch. Okay. Cool. Alright, so we're going to take our 3/8 of an inch tape, or, you know, whatever size tape you like. If you're a gluer, obviously you're going to glue instead of tape, but you're just going to hold off until we get there. Okay, so I'm going to tape. Ooh, you know what? I need to check before I tell you. Yep, that one goes in, and this is the pocket. Okay, that's fine. All right, so you want these to be on the inside. How did I do this? Hold on, I gotta think this through. Okay, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm fine. All right, so put this here, and your piece, the second piece you did, just put that to the side because that needs some cutting before we tape it. And then your first piece, you can go ahead and tape. And oh my gosh, really? Okay. So now with this piece here, I want you to go ahead and varnish your score lines. So the 2 1/2 inch things and the one in the middle. Okay. So it should fold up and look like this. All right. So open it back up, and what we're going to do is cut a little triangle right here. So you're just going to do a little miter and a little miter and cut a little triangle. Okay, like so. Again, on this side. So here is the score line. I'm going to the left of the score line, cutting at an angle, going to the right of the score line, cutting at an angle. Okay, that's it. And then I am going to go ahead and miter the top, and I'm going to miter this bottom here too. Okay, so now it should look like this. I'm still keeping the shorter piece on top because that's our top pocket. So these two pieces you're going to fold in like this, and you're going to tape or glue these two pieces this way. I probably should have taped before I mitered, but that's okay. Okay, because we need this to go up like this. All right, where's the book? we're making this part here. We're making this part. Okay. So right now is where you need to decide if you want to have fancy scalloped edges with your paper punchers, or you just want it square, whatever. I think I want to do the fancy scallop, so I'm going to grab my scallop puncher. Okay, so I need to go ahead and punch these sides. I'm using my We Are Memory Keepers corner chomper. Okay. It is going to make the tabs have a little funky thing, whatever. You can cut it off, do whatever you want. And now I'm going to go ahead and tape this up. If you're a gluer, go ahead and glue that down like that. Okay. Now your other tabs, you're going to fold them back. It may fight you because you already folded it the other way, but it's fine. Just force it to fold back. And you're going to put your tape on the back here. Okay. But I'm going to go ahead and do my scallop on mine. Okay. And now I'm going to put my tape on the back. So the bottom piece is optional if you want to tape it like with the 1/8 of an inch tape, or if you want to glue it. I just glued mine down to my page. You'll see that in 1 second. Okay. So take your piece that measures the 4 3/4 by 6 1/4 scored at short side at 1/2 inch, and you're going to add your pocket directly to that. Okay, so here we are, right here. Now, if you want to mat first, then you need to go ahead and mat first. And so what I'm going to do, because I do want to mat first, and I don't know what paper collection, I'm just going to paper clip mine to this piece here, because it's going to look like this. You know, you're going to take your tape off, or you're going to glue it down, and you'll put your glue right here on this little, the bottom flap to seal it shut. If you forget to seal it shut, you'll remember when you go to put your tag in and it falls out, because that's what I did. And I just took my glue bottle, and it was taped down, and I just went under there and glued it under. So if you forget, it's no big deal. Okay, but I am going to go ahead, and that needs to be clipped onto that. All right, so let's go ahead and put the page together. It looks complicated, but it's not. Take out your base page. Top, make sure the opening's to the left. We're going to fold this piece here. And on the folded side, I work upside down, so I have the folded side down. I'm putting this page here right on top. You do not mat first, because your matting is going to cover your hinge. I did give myself a tiny bit of a border. Open it up, take this piece, fold your hinge back, burnish. I'm going to close that up. I like to hook mine in onto that page, and then I'm going to center it on, it's centered onto this page, I think. It's not. Okay. It's centered here. But I still want it to be in the center of that 5x7 flap, but it's going to connect to your base page. So I want it to be about here. For some reason it looks crooked. It's not though. Maybe it's my crooked eyes. Okay, and I'm giving myself a little bit of a border. Oh my gosh, look what I did. Now I gotta replace it because I forgot to take the tab out. Something is throwing it off. It just looks really crooked. Okay. So pocket, they're glued onto that base page. Okay. All right, that's all for page number 1. Flip it over. This is your page number 2. Now on page number 2, your opening is to your right and your top is on top. So page number 2, we need one piece that's 5 1/4 by 8 7/8. So 5 1/4 by 8 7/8. Scored on the long side at 1/2 inch. And 5/8. So that's just the 1/8 of an inch over. So that way you have a 1/2 inch thing and a 1/8 of an inch gusset. Okay. We can go ahead and tape that if we want. Well, we'll tape at the end. Okay, and our pocket is going to be 6 1/8 by 4, scored on the long side. All right. Let's see how much is left over here. Nope. I'm trying to use these scraps. I don't think I have a 4-inch scrap though. Okay. Well, I don't care. Mine's just going to be smaller. So 6 1/8 by 4 scored. So we're just making this pocket right here, the acetate pocket. I guess I should do it the same size so you're not confused why mine looks different and yours doesn't. All right, so we're going to cut this by 4 by 6 1/8. And we're scoring it like a pocket. So 1/2 inch on 3 sides. 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch. Okay. Now we are going to, if you want an acetate pocket, you're going to follow these steps. We're doing this acetate pocket right here. And I'm thinking it's 1/2 inch on all 4 sides. Yep. All right, so on the back of your pocket, so on the top, which does not have any score lines, you're going to take a pencil and you're going to mark it at 1/2 inch. Okay, and at the sides that have your score mark, you're going to go at 1 inch. You can fold them and do 1/2 inch or whatever, but it's just easier to do it this way. Because see, you're going to pretend like that's not, your fold line's not there. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's just a 1/2 inch from your edges is what you're doing if the flaps were folded. Okay, so if my flaps were folded, it's a 1/2 inch all around on the inside. Okay, now you're going to take your craft knife or your scissors or whatever you have, which I have all of the above, but what I did with it, that's the question. All right, let me find my craft knife. Okay, I cleaned my craft room, and of course you can't find anything when you clean. All right, where's a good ruler? This one's good. You're gonna cut out that rectangle. Wow. That was bad. I cut into my, what you call them, because I can't see because of these shadows. That's okay. Sorry if my head is in there. should always cut towards the inside that you're going to throw away. So do as I say, not as I did, because if you cut towards your frame, it's going to have a little cut mark, which I'm okay with because I'm just going to put a piece of tape on it anyway. But you won't know from the front that I sliced into it. But make your life easier and slicing towards the part you're going to throw away, not the part that you actually need. There we go. See? You can tell a little bit, but whatever. All right, now we're going to go ahead and add our acetate. I have, you can use clear acetate or you can use a textured one. I have this polka dot, and I'm going to cut that, let's see, I'm going to cut it 5 by 3 1/4. And I'm going to use my quarter-inch tape, and I'm going to go ahead and tape around the perimeter of this. People do their acetate different ways, so whatever way is more comfortable for you, that's how you're going to do your acetate. Some people like to make it the exact same size as their project. Some like to make it the exact same size as the opening. Some like, you know, make it bigger or whatever. Some like to put their tape on the acetate. Some people like to put their tape on the project. It's really just your preference. I typically put it on my project. I typically put it on the acetate. But, no, I guess I do it either way, now that I think about it. That was my oopsie daisy I need to cover up. So now I just need to make sure that I cut this big enough to where you will not see this acetate when I lay it down, which I did. Okay, it wants to go here, so it's going there. Okay. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead, this is the front of it, so I'm gonna go ahead and tape it up. If you're a gluer, stand by. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and add my tape. Okay. I get a lot of questions about why I use different edges to cut my tape. Because I like a straight edge when I'm laying the tape down. You'll see me cut with my fingers. I'll cut with rulers, the pink thing, whatever I have handy. That's what's going to be my straight edge to cut my tape. Miter your corners. Okay. All right, so our pocket is done. And are we putting our pocket together right now? Yes, we can. All right, so the piece that we already cut right here, try to get your little 1/8 of an inch fold in there. You don't necessarily have to use your bone folder on that 1/8 of an inch. It's hard, so I don't. But I will tape this top up. And I need to add my pocket here. Okay, let me see if I've matted first. I might have matted first. I did. So you can mat first and put your pocket. Or if you're not having an acetate pocket, then you can go ahead and lay your pocket down because the matting's not going to care because you won't see it. But I guess in this case, it does matter. What's underneath there? The waterfall? Okay. All right, so that's going to get paper clipped on. because we need a mat. All right, so let's go ahead and put that over to the side. And we need to make our booklet, the waterfall, and the photo mat. For me, the reason why I have the booklet and the photo mat in the instructions, because for me, if I don't have that booklet or whatever in the instructions, I won't make it. I'm horrible at that. But if it's in the instructions, I'll do it. All right, so the booklet is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And how? So 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. And one piece that is 4 1/4 by 6 3/4. 6 3/4 by 4 1/4, and scored at 1/2 on that long side. Okay, and we're just connecting the 2 pages. So taper glue. I'm gonna go on the. I'm gonna lay it on top, I think. Is that what I do? Let's see. I think my booklet, I put it upside down. I did. I matted mine upside down. So mine actually opens from the top. Yeah, so it doesn't matter because I matted all of the pieces. So I'm gonna lay mine on top. So gluers, you're going to glue here, and we're just going to lay it right on top of that other piece. It makes a little booklet. You can put the booklet on the inside of the hinge. Like if you want to put it on top of here instead of on the bottom, it doesn't matter as long as it opens. There's our booklet, and our photo mat is 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. All right, so booklet, and again, I'm chopping the sides. All right, so that stuff is gonna go right inside of my pocket. So now I'm gonna clip the other side to make sure it closes. Okay, so now the waterfall, we need 4 pieces that are 4 1/4 by 6 3/4, scored at the long side 1/2 inch. So just waterfall. I have 2 pieces of paper. On the long side, I'm going to cut the 6 3/4. So 6 3/4. Short side, 4 1/4. And 4 1/4. Again, it should be equal, but it's not because the paper's bigger. All right, so there's my 4 pieces. And on the long side, at 1/2. And the little backer piece, if you like a backer piece, I need it to be, really? 4 1/4 and set by 7 3/4? That's what I need? Seems a little big. Okay, so we're going to take one of those extra pieces right there, 4 1/4 by 7 3/4. Okay. You're going to glue or tape up all of your waterfalls. I'm already at 30 minutes and only on page 2, so let me do this off camera. Okay, now I'm taking my tape off and I'm adding it to my backer piece. I work upside down for the first one. Okay, and then I'm adding each individual. I'm making sure that it lines up with the one above it. I guess I wanted to have a full piece on the back here. Alright, so mine is slightly bigger than my waterfall. You can cut that little tiny piece off or keep it, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna cut mine off. It's like a little 1/8 of an inch. Okay, there we go. And the waterfall. So that's it for page 2. So what I'm going to do is look at my book. And we need to attach that, and then this needs to go on top of our paper. Okay. So we can go ahead and attach the envelope. Now this is going to be a little tricky because you want to attach it at that first score line, not that 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so fold it to where you can see the 1/8 of an inch. You only want 1/2 inch to go down on your paper. Okay, so you see I got to turn mine upside down. That says top, so my top, so I know that this is correct. This is a little bit of a pain, like I said, because of this 1/8 of an inch. You want to make sure you only put down 1/2 inch. Center it. It's slightly smaller than your page. Okay. There we go. Because you need that little 1/8 of an inch just to kind of give your waterfall a little bit of a room. Okay. All right. And then our waterfall is going to go in here. So we're going to go ahead and paper clip that for now. Okay. All right, so page 1 and 2 are done. Let's put this to the side. Get out your additional base page. Opening to the left, top at the top, page 3. Page 3 is 5 3/4 by 7 1/4. So 5 3/4 by 7 1/4. Right, let me make sure. 5 3/4 by 7 1/4. Scored on the short side at 1/2. 1 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. I think this would work. 4 3/4. Nope. By 6 1/4. Scored on the short side, 1/2 inch. And 1 3 1/4 by 5 3/4. And scored on the long side at 1/2 inch. So 3 1/4 by 5 3/4, scored on the long side at 1/2 inch. All right, so let's take out our book. Page 3. Okay, so we got magnet. All right, so we have bop, bop, bop. Cool. Okay. The long piece, let's go ahead and tape it up. And the middle piece, we're going to tape it up. Just on the top. And then this piece, what did I just say it was? Did I just place it on the top of that one? I did. Okay. So we're going to tape this on the top as well. All right. Okay. All right. Varnish really well. Sometimes I like to varnish after I put the tape in because it is the twofer. It's giving that crisp line and it's making sure that glue is completely adhered. All right, so I have the big piece on the right hand side, the little piece on the left, and then this is on top of the big piece. Okay. I'm turning my paper sideways so the folded edge is on the bottom because I work upside down. I'm going to center this. I guess this is kind of the same as the other page. I didn't even think about that. That's funny. Okay. And then our 4 3/4 piece is going to be the same thing. I'm going to center that. I'm connecting it to the base page, but I'm centering it with this page here. Should have kept the backing on, but I didn't. This time I didn't give myself a border. 1, 2, and then this piece I stuck on top of our 5x7. That's the photo mat for a 5x7 picture, and I set it on top here. And I centered it as best as I could. Called it done. Okay. I added my magnets, which I have. I tore these magnets off of a different project that didn't work. So now I'm going to put them on this one. I think I only put one magnet because it was just that one little piece. Okay. I will get these glue dots off and show you in a second. Okay, I have 2 magnets here. Glue dot and glue dot. And I'm going to put it right here in the center, giving it at least a 1/2 inch from that edge. And this will just kind of keep the book closed. Some people like to put their magnets under the first page, like they'll put it here instead. I'm okay with it being there. I think that's where I put it. Yeah, mine's on top. It holds it in. Okay, last page is going to be our belly band with this. Okay, so flip that over. Now your folded edge is to the left, your opening is to the right. And that's going to be page 4. The belly band is 2 1/4 but 9 3/8. You can make the belly band as thick as you want. I just like 2 1/4. It's probably what I had a scrap of. 1, 3. So just slightly smaller than 9 1/2. And then you're going to score it at 1/2 inch on both sides. That is your belly band. Okay. You can tape that if you're a taper. Our accordion is going to be 8 1/2 by something. 8.5 by 6 1/4. Again, we're going to make sure this is exactly 8.5. Okay. Where am I at? Page 4. Belly band, accordion. Score on the long side at 4 1/4. Okay. And then we need one piece that is going to be 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. So 4 3/4 by 6 1/4. Score on the short side, probably at 1/2 inch. Okay. And I'm going to attach mine with tape. You can do yours with glue. And I'm going to attach mine on the inside, so the bumpy side. So that way my hinge is on the back. So here's my little booklet, the first piece. And this one, see how I put the tape on the inside? It doesn't really matter if you're going to mat it, but this is how I did mine. Right up to that score line, not touching it, not on it. So that way you have the piece that comes in and the piece that goes over. And if yours doesn't close one way or the other, just trim a little bit off. It's fine. Okay, and then this is where I was going to put the envelope that I put in the beginning. This envelope here. So you can, put the envelope in the front, or you can put it behind the belly band, whatever you want to do. But this is the envelope. And the envelope is 6 by 11, scored on the long side. All right. I need another piece of paper. All right. So 6 by 11. Scored on the long side at 2. 6 1/2. And scored on the short side at 1/2 inch and 5 1/2. Okay, so I don't really remember what I'm doing here with this. Okay, I gotta figure out my own envelope here. Okay. I don't need all these flappy bits. What did I do? I know what I did. Okay, so put your short section at the top, your 2-inch section at the top. Take your scissors, and we're going to cut off the 1/2 inch piece on the first and the second sections. Okay? And I'm going to go ahead and miter that. So you can do this with your paper trimmer if you want. I'm just going to scissor it. And I'm going to do the same on this other side. Oops. I'm going to try to cut straight. And I'm going to miter here. And then just kind of miter and miter. Okay. I want to corner chop this so that way it matches. I know I didn't corner chop all my other pages yet, but anyway. Glue or tape. Okay, tape it is. Actually, I really want glue because just in case I didn't cut right, glue is more forgiving than tape. I'm just unclogging my glue bottle. Making sure you get all the way up on that folded edge. Okay, and go ahead and pull that up. That's not what I did though. Oh my gosh, I made this string way too long. Hello, there we go. Oh, I forgot, I put a little V in there. Alright, good thing I use glue. You could leave it like that, or you can make the little V. Ooh, good thing I looked at that before my glue is completely dry. I think this is too late for this side. Okay, I forgot about the V. Alright, how far down did I go? To 1 3/4. Alright, so I marked a spot. Pencil. 1 3/4. I tried to find the middle. 5, so 2.5 is my middle. Alright. So I made it like a little cross like that, and all I did was take my scissors and start at the corner and cut down to the middle of that cross. And I came here, I started at the corner and cutting through right there. That's what I did, folks. Something was telling me not to tape, which I could have just used my undo and undid it, but so if you didn't put your triangle in, it's fine. I just like the triangle look. Okay. Alright, so let's put our page together, and then if you want to continue watching the tutorial, I will show you how to make these little things. Well, I mean, I guess you don't have to. Alright, so here we go. Top, belly band. Now, with my belly band, I did not mat first. I don't think I matted first. No, I didn't. Because you can just shove the paper underneath it. Or you can mat first and then place it on top. Whatever you want to do. But I'm not going to mat first. I'm just going to put this down, and then I'll cut my paper so it fits in there. Sometimes it does make it a little bit harder. So if you want to be easier, mat first. Alright, so at this point I'm just going in the center as best as I can. This is going to be slightly smaller than your page, so you can have a tiny bit of a border. I like my mechanism slightly smaller than my page, so I don't have to worry about it going over the page. Okay? And I'm going to take my booklet. Okay, here's my accordion booklet. And I'm going to flip it on the back, and I'm going to put the back underneath like this. And I'm going to take a pencil like so. And then I'm going to kind of mark on here where I want it. This looks good. I'm going to add my glue into the middle here. Or your tape. I'm going to line this up with the pencil marks I just made and lay it down. Okay. Oh gosh, let's get that in the middle there. And then just make sure you didn't glue your belly band down, which I almost did because I put it in the crazy spot. So I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to kind of hold something in there to let that dry. Okay, so that's that. Those are your 4 pages. Now my cover pockets, well, we're just going to keep going. I know it's going to be an hour, but we're just going to keep going. So I did a slanted pocket and I did a regular pocket. So for the slanted pocket, I did 5 1/4 by 9. So 5 1/4 by 9. And on the long side, I did 1/2 inch. And, excuse me, that's going to be the bottom. And on the left side, I did 1/2 inch. Okay, cool. Okay. So from the top left, I marked it at 1 1/2. So 1 1/2 from the very edge, I think. And at 3 from the bottom right. So bottom right and 3. I'm going to take that in my paper trimmer and I'm going to put that 1 1/2 inch mark and that 3 inch mark in my track. And I'm going to cut. And that's what I like. It looks weird. Where's my book? Okay, so no, what I did was 1 1/2 from the score line, I think. Yep, it was 1 1/2 from the score line. That's okay. I still like this pocket. It's fine. I don't want to cut another piece. It just, the more you have over here, the better it look, I think. It's fine. All right, so let me put that in the slanted pocket. Mark it a pencil on the top left. Let me change that. I'm going to say to do it at I'm going to say to do it at 1 3/4 instead of 1 1/2 from the top left. All right, there we go. All right, and then the inside regular pocket is going to be 6 7/8 by 4 1/2. Oh, I don't think I have enough. That's fine. My pocket can be smaller, but the actual measurements are 6 7/8 by 4 1/2. So 6 7/8 by 4 1/2. Scored 1/2 inch on the short side and 1/2 inch on both the long sides. Okay. I do want my slanted pocket to be better, even though I'm just wasting paper. I just need to make sure this works. So 5 1/4 by 9. Okay, scored at 1/2 inch on the short side on the left hand side, 1/2 inch on the bottom. I'm gonna actually mark this at 2 because you can always cut it off, and then 3 from the bottom. Put it in my track, put it in my track. Yeah, I like that better. Okay, I like that better. Okay, I played around with it and I didn't like the look either, so I redid it. So the measurements in the description box are correct. Follow those. Okay. All right, so now we just have to make our covers, and that's it, right? Our covers and our hinge, which this one I did the regular hidden hinge. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, you want this. Okay. Take a circle punch. I'm using 3/4 of an inch. Punch out 4 circles. Glue 2 together. Let it dry. What did I do with my glue? Oh, I stuck it in my thing. Everybody makes these different. This is just the way I do it. I don't know. I don't think there's a right or wrong way as long as you get to the end result that you want. Now you got to get your eyelets. Okay, make sure you set your eyelet setter to the correct number. I'm using 3/16 eyelets, so I need A and 1, which mine's already set to that. So you're just gonna punch your hole in the middle. Put your eyelet in and center it in there. Squeeze it in. And there you go. Okay. Hole punch. Eyelet. Make sure the base, it says base, make sure that's on the bottom. Put this in and squeeze it. There you go. Okay. Now you can glue right around like so, or you can pop it up on a pop dot. Everyone does theirs different. I think the one over there I did pop dots, and this one I'm just going to glue around and stick it, and then you just, you know, wrap your string around it. All right, so I will do that later so I can get to these covers. I assume this would be a question, so what I'm doing is the pop dot method today. I think there is a much better way to do this, but this is the quick and easy way. And just do like that. Okay, I think you're supposed to maybe glue that second one. I don't know. This is how I do it, okay? I just put a pop dot and call it done. And then just tie your thread or string, whatever, around it. All right, so now for the covers. Because I did the project and I already measured the pages and everything, we know what size the covers and our spine needs to be. But whenever you do your own, put your pages together first and then measure what size covers and spine that you're going to need, okay? Because you don't want to have alligator mouth, and you don't want your spine to be too small for your book. But I have already done that work for you. And so you're going to take your chipboard and you're going to cut it at 2 by 6 by 9 and 1 1¼ by 9. Okay, I'm going to go cut those. Okay, so cut your chipboard. Unfortunately, because I insisted on redoing that pocket, I do not have enough of that paper, the tan paper, the craft paper, to cover my chipboard. So now my cover is going to be white. It is what it is. I only have one sheet left of 8.5 by 11, and obviously this is going to be bigger than 8.5 by 11. So it is what it is. So if you have to connect 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11 to get the length you need to cover, that's fine. This is A4, no, A something paper. It is A3 paper, which is 42 by 30 centimeters, which I think it's like 13 by something. So just A3 paper. I'm gluing here. My 2 covers, 6 by 9, 1 1/4 by 9. I marked 1 inch off from the left and 1 inch off from the bottom, just so I can have a little bit of a guide where to line my paper up. I'm using my Craftier spacer, which is slightly bigger than 1/8 of an inch, but less than 1/4 of an inch. So it's like something 1/16 of an inch, but I don't know. Okay. Alright, so now we're just going to wrap it just like a regular thing. I'm going to let this dry first, and we're going to go ahead and move on to our hinge, our binding system. The binding is 1 piece at 4.5 by 8.5. And scored on the short side at 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, and 3.5. Okay. Flip it over on the back, and we're going to tape it or glue it on the first 1/2 inch mark. Skip, and then the 1, 2, 3, the 4th one. Then we're going to take our paper and we are going to valley, mountain, valley. Alright. So the first one is valley, mountain, valley, and then valley, mountain, valley. Okay, so when you have it here, your tape should be in your mountains. So it should look like this. You're going to tape up the back. You're going to tape up the front. If you're a taper, I'll do all that. Okay, coming back to our cover. I am just mitering it. Normally I use my little tool today. I'm just eyeballing it. Oh, here's my spine. I covered in the little pieces there. I did miter my sides on my hinges. Okay, I'm going to tray my paper. Where's my bone folder? Oh no. Look what I did. Ah, it tore my paper. Okay, that's fine. We can fix that. As you can see, I only did one tape today. Normally I do two. But I need to go cook dinner, so I need to hurry up. Dang it, I can't believe I ripped my paper like that. Okay. So do the other side. I put the glue right up against that chipboard because I don't want any cracks. But if you get cracks, I can show you how to fix it since I just ripped my paper. Okay. So you're going to tuck your sides in, tuck your sides. When you miter, you need to leave at least 1/8 of an inch past your... Is this the rip side? It is. Past your chipboard so your sides are covered. So my rip is right here. I added a little extra glue to the rip. And this is what I'm going to do. First, let me handle this side. So if you put your paper on too tight or it's just like a really stiff paper, your cover paper, sometimes it can crack on your fold line. Or if you did what I did and you were reckless and you just ripped it like this, all you have to do is put extra glue on it. Make sure it's really wet. And smooth it. This will re-adhere the fibers in that paper and you will not see that rip. So anywhere you have a rip on your covers because you weren't careful, because your paper is too stiff, because it's 2 o'clock on a Tuesday and your paper decided to rip, that's how you fix it. Okay. There's no rhyme or reason sometimes why the paper rips, it just does. And see? You cannot see where that rip was at all. I will point it out to you. It's right here. As long as you really wet that paper and let it dry, you won't see it. All right, so that's your cover. You're going to take your spine piece. Now, I'm a taper on my bindings. Some people are gluers. I have 0 success gluing mine. I have 100% success with my tape. Now watch me say that and it's not successful. So I tape mine down. I take off my first layer of tape. I center these two with the middle of my spine, and I center it from top and bottom as well. So I have about 1/4 of an inch from the top and the bottom. That's been my go-to measurement. You know what? I'm going to cut off some of this. I have overhang from my tape. I'm going to cut that off. All right. Center these as best as I can in the middle and top and bottom. I think that's right. Oh, that's where it's going to be right now. And lay that piece down. And where my book closes, go like this. Okay, and now I'm going to take my second piece of tape off. I'm going to lay that down gently. I'm not putting any stress. Oh no, I had overhang. I'm not putting any stress. I'm not pulling it. I'm not forcing it. I'm just laying it down nicely. Being mindful of this still. Okay, get that in. Now I'm going to take my third piece off. Didn't varnish my tape. So when you varnish your tape, you should be able to pull it from any section of the backing and it should come off easily. Okay, now I'm laying this down. I very lightly tapped it so that way if I need to pull it up, I still can. So I need to do the same thing. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to flip my book and get in there. So my spine has no stress. See how it still popped up? Right here, it's still popped up because I want to make sure that this is in there. There's no stress, there's no bubbles. And now I can go ahead and press that. Put some pressure. Open and close, open and close. I like to do like this. Sometimes this is where you get your cracking here. But again, just use that glue trick. And there we go. That's it, okay? Then you're going to go ahead and put your paper here if you want, or you can go ahead and put your pages on, which I will go ahead and put my pages on so you can see that. See, I want to make sure there's no stress. My pages will lay down nicely, back and forth, no stress. Okay, we only have 2 pages. This is the last page. So my opening should be to the left. I'm doing page 3 and 4. It should be the exact same length as your hinge. And making sure it goes up to your score line, not touching it. Flip it over, take the bottom off, take a little piece off, and flip it over. You need to make sure that, again, you're not touching that score line. There you go. Okay. So that should be the last page. That should be like that, I think. Is that how I put it in? Yeah, okay. And then my pocket page, and that page is the front. Okay. I have no idea what I did. Oh, here it is. Okay. Since the page has everything all clipped to it, I'm going to take all the clips. This is my first page, okay? Opening to the left. I'm going to unclip everything because I think it will just be easier for me to lay it down. Take your left hand off. So if you accidentally made your page upside down or whatever and your tape was on the top, it's fine. Then you just have a sealed pocket page. I mean, you have a sealed page, not a pocket page. Nobody knows it's supposed to be a pocket page except for you. I've done that many times. Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and reclip my things on. And that's it. And you're just going to decorate it how you want. And again, if you want a full walkthrough, I will link that video so you can see how you want to decorate your your book. You can add magnets here. I think I am, because my other book, when I flip it open, it what did I do with those other magnets? But I'm going to add a magnet to my front pocket so it stays closed. And also I'm going to add a magnet to my accordion as well. So pretend these are my magnets. I'm going to add my magnet here and here, so that way it stays closed. And then I'm going to add it here, and it will end up over here somewhere. Okay. So that is it. That is your tutorial in real time. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Oh, our pockets. Forgot. They're easy to put on there. This is a pocket I just had to have. So you'll glue it on here after you mat. And you can actually glue this one on before you mat. But you will glue that all down there, just like that. All right, just on the bottom. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Please hit the subscribe button and the like button if you like this project. Thanks for watching. Bye.